We are the people of the present. This is our life. Solid and stable. Simple joys. Days of routines. Light mornings. And days of light-hearted jollies. In the far and dark medieval times, the world was embraced of terrible fear. The fear of the beast called the Black Plague or the Black Death. But what do we know about those times? The answer is almost nothing. That's why we call them Dark Ages. Because it was a long time ago and we have got only a pitiful amount of saved manuscript or painting from those times. Dark Ages is a time period from 5th to 15th century. Welcome to the 13th century. But I've got some bad news. The almighty fourth horseman of apocalypse has just arrived. And he works quite fast. Like the worst enemy of humanity.
Well, obviously this mask is irrelevant, because if we had looked through the history, we would have seen these ones.
Plague doctors or physicians had these weird masks which came from France and Italy for protection and respiratory. And they should be given credit. They're still making some impression. Why did they need the beaks, you might ask? It was the protection of a bad smell. The designers had decided to fill it with some strongly aromatic herbs so they could breathe better. Elegant, a bit scary, and relatively safe.
Particularly these were belonged to so-called cleaners of those dark age times during the pandemic of the Black Death. Their work was so simple, hard, but also so gloomy and deadly. Well, simply they had to load corpses into the carts, carry them out of the cities, and bury. It's hard to believe, but this terrible pestilence swept away millions of lives across Europe and rest of the world. Therefore, the cleaners had quite a lot of work. Very often they had to put dead bodies in 3 layers and sprinkle them with a little ground.
The decomposing corpses streamed an unbearable smell as a horrible, scary reminder. The plague is gaining momentum.
So it occurred approximately between the mid-13th and 1500s. But what are the roots of this medieval nightmare? There were many disputes over this subject. However, the most experts claim that the seeds of the Black Death arrived with the sailors from overseas.
Unfortunately, except different kinds of goods, the ships contained also the main agents of death, rats, and they already transported on them deadly fleas, whose bites caused well-known tragic consequences.
Mongols who traded with the meat of small rodents spread it terribly quickly.
It is notorious that the Black Death had shown its horrible image occasionally up to the 19th century.
So is it possible to have such a deadly kind of disease in modern times? To find out this, we have to go to some extraordinary traveling through the time and space into the far future.